Today we are making small batch cinnamon roll cake. It's the perfect amount for 2 people. It has all the flavor of a cinnamon roll, but it's in cake form and there is no waiting for dough to rise. So join me in the kitchen as we make small batch recipes with big taste. The cinnamon roll cake recipe is so versatile because you could serve it for breakfast because it's cinnamon roll in the title, or you could serve it for dessert because there's cake in the title. So versatile, you choose. Okay, we're gonna start by combining the ingredients for the batter of this cake. We're gonna start with our dry ingredients. I have 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour here, and I have got a 1/4 cup of sugar. We are going to use a teaspoon. Oh, you hear that dinging? My oven is preheated. Go on to preheat your oven to, what did I preheat it to? 350. All right, a teaspoon of baking powder. We're gonna take just a pinch, a nice healthy pinch of salt. Then we're gonna add in some egg. Now, we're not gonna use the whole egg. I took 1 egg and I beat it up in this little ramekin, and we're gonna use only 2 tablespoons of this egg. Now, don't be wasteful. There's about 2 tablespoons more left, which is just enough to make one of those giant cookie recipes I have up there. They're so good. All right, then we're gonna add in our milk. And I'm using whole milk because that's what I had. You can use 2% skim milk, whatever you've got. And it is a 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons. All right, give that a stir. And then we're gonna put in a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. I never measure my vanilla because you can't ever have too much vanilla as far as I'm concerned. And then 2 tablespoons of melted butter. All right, and then just stir it all up just until you have all that flour, dry flour incorporated. You know, the best part about the cinnamon roll cake is it is everything a cinnamon roll should be, but so much easier and quicker to make. So now we're gonna take our baking dish, and this is a 3-cup baking dish. It measures about 4.5 by 5.5, but you want something that'll hold about 3 cups. I'm just gonna go ahead and grease it really. Got our oven preheated. Let me just double check. I did say 350, yes, 350 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and put our batter into our baking dish. Now, get that spatula so you get every little bit out. There we go. Now, we're gonna mix up that cinnamon mixture that is so important in a cinnamon roll. So for our cinnamon filling, we are going to use 3 tablespoons of softened butter. All right, and we've got 3 tablespoons of light brown sugar, 1/2 tablespoon of flour, and then we're gonna use 1/2 tablespoon, making a mess here, of cinnamon. I don't know about you, but I'm a messy cook. All right, you can stir that up or just get in there with your fingers and just mix it up. All right, there you go, you got it all incorporated. Like I said, messy. I'm gonna wash my hands. All right, so we are now ready to put that cinnamon filling on top of the cake batter. And you're just gonna take it in little pieces and just kind of drop it on there. It's not gonna cover totally the surface, because then what we're gonna do is we are gonna take a knife and swirl it all in. Then you're gonna wash your hands again. All right, had to go grab a knife, and then we're just gonna take this knife and kind of cut through the batter so that that cinnamon kind of gets incorporated down into the cake. One way, then I'm gonna go the other way. All right, it's ready to go in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 24 to 25 minutes. Well, our cinnamon roll cake is baking. We're gonna mix up the glaze. This may be my favorite part of a cinnamon roll. I love that yummy glaze on top. So for that, we're gonna use 1/2 cup of powdered sugar, 1/4 teaspoon, you know how I measure my vanilla, of vanilla. And then we're gonna start with about 1/2 tablespoon, maybe up to a tablespoon of, I'm using 1/2 and 1/2. You could use regular milk, whipping cream. It's just what I had and I needed to use up in my fridge. And I probably put in almost a whole tablespoon there. You just wanna get it to a nice glazing, kind of drizzling consistency. It is out of the oven, it smells delish, and I am letting it cool, or I have let it cool for maybe about 15 minutes because I want that glaze not to melt like totally right into the cake. So we're just going to take the glaze and we are going to drizzle it all over the top. The more glaze, the better. This coffee cake is the perfect size for 2 people. I also have a small batch cinnamon roll recipe that makes 4 cinnamon rolls up there. And if you only need 1 cinnamon roll, I've got a single cinnamon roll recipe. Now, all right, this is ready for breakfast, for dinner, however you want to eat it. Now let me show you how ooey and gooey and delicious this is. All right, oh, look at, just like a cinnamon roll, but in cake form. You see that ooey, gooey, delicious cinnamon roll cake. You're gonna love it. So thanks for joining me in the kitchen today, and I'm gonna see you in the next video.